Hello and welcome to VTV News Live at 8, brought to you by VTV International. You're with me, Dai Chang, and here are top stories for today. National Assembly Chairman meets with President Xi Jinping during his visit to China. Laichou hydropower plant begins operation on December 23rd. Local people in Darak province enjoy prosperous festive period. The top news for today. On Wednesday morning, December 23rd, State President Chen Teng-sang met with outgoing Thai Ambassador Panbrayak Punsap. President Chen Teng-sang praised the ambassador for his contributions to promoting friendship between the two countries during his term in Vietnam. The state leader conveyed his greetings to the king and the royal family of Thailand. He underscored the good relationship between the two countries. He also believed two-way trade between the two countries would reach $20 billion by 2020, up from a current $7 billion. The Thai ambassador said Thailand would continue to foster a strategic partnership and friendship between the two countries. Also on December 23rd, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng witnessed Generator 1 at Laichou hydropower plant enter operation, and more to follow.
Laichou hydropower plant was approved by the National Assembly and started construction in early 2011. Once it becomes fully operational, the Laichou hydropower plant and the Son and Hòa Bình hydropower plants will produce a third of Vietnam's hydropower. Generator 1 was completed 3 months ahead of the schedule, and in this 3-month period, it will create $150 million worth of electricity and save about 1 million tons of coal. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng emphasized that the construction was critical to ensuring national energy security and boosting the socio-economic development of Laichou, Điện Biên province and the northwestern region.
Vietnam Electricity has to ensure the smooth operation of Generator 1. The company also has to speed up the process of constructing the remaining 2 units so that they can come into operation in 2016. As they have electricity output of approximately 4.7 billion kilowatt-hours a year, the plant will bring the benefit of about $310 million to our country.
The Prime Minister also stated that this project, together with the Son La and Hòa Bình hydropower plant, will help control flood, ensure the safety of Hanoi, and supply water for the Red River Delta in the dry season.
Also on December 23rd, National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng and his entourage arrived in Beijing, China, starting their official visit to the country. The visit was scheduled at the invitation of Zhang Dejiang, chairman of the Standing Committee of China's National People's Congress, and more in the following.
As part of his visit, National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng met with Party General Secretary and President Xi Jinping. At the talks, President Xi Jinping spoke highly of the visit of the National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng to China, believing that it will contribute to the current comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and China. National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng said that he appreciated the earlier visit of President Xi to Vietnam. He also said that the recent high-level visits between the two nations would help deepen mutual understanding and bolster development and friendship for both sides. Also on this occasion, National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng met with the Vietnamese embassy staff and representatives of the Vietnamese community in Beijing. He said that Vietnam always supported the work of overseas diplomats and appreciated their contributions. He also highlighted that the China-Vietnam relationship would be maintained in line with Vietnam foreign policy.
The National Steering Committee 389 on Combating Smuggling, Fraud and Counterfeit Goods on December 23rd held a conference to review the preliminary one-year implementation of a Prime Ministerial Directive on strengthening the fight against cigarette smuggling. Speaking at the conference, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc praised the effort and achievement of ministries and authorities implementing the Directive 30. He also noted that ministries, authorities, and localities need to take a practical action to curb cigarette smuggling. Cooperation between National Steering Committee 389 and the local authorities should play an important role in producing solutions to combat cross-border cigarette smuggling. Now, the massive volumes of cigarettes being smuggled into the countries are causing a large drain on the state revenues and are having a negative impact on domestic tobacco industry. After 1 year of implementing Directive 30 on strengthening the fight against cigarette smuggling, the number of smuggled cigarettes has been reduced. However, smuggled cigarettes are still arriving in Vietnam in large quantity via southwestern border provinces. And more in the following.
Traveling along Highway 91, groups of 2 to 3 motorbikes are laden with 1,300 to 1,800 smuggled cigarettes, heading for the central market at Châu Đốc. There is a $0.25 on each pack smuggled into the country. The smuggling is primarily focused on the southwestern region and is possible due to the long borders with Cambodia and Laos and the use of cross-border transport.
About 1 billion packs were smuggled into Vietnam last year and caused losses to the state budget of 10,000 billion Vietnam dong. This figure dropped to about 700 to 800 million packs in 2015. This may be seen as a good result. However, the level of smuggling and distribution of cigarettes still remains relatively high.
According to the National Steering Committee 389 and Vietnam Tobacco Association, the southern provinces consume about 85% of the total smuggled cigarettes, with nearly 55% consumed in Ho Chi Minh City alone. In the local markets and retail outlets, smuggled cigarettes are traded publicly without hindrance.
Will provide sufficient equipment and funds for the local authorities and forces to improve the anti-tobacco smuggling activities. For those cases involving criminal prosecution, the implementation of Decree 124 increases the number of cases subject to criminal liability in smuggling.
Decree 124 will become effective on January the 5th, 2016. The transport and trading of more than 500 packs of cigarettes will now be subject to criminal prosecution. However, the new rules are only expected to reduce the tobacco smuggling, not entirely eradicate the problem. In long term, there should be policies to assist local unemployed people to secure more stable livelihoods and prevent criminals from encouraging smuggling.
Now on to some economic figures. Ho Chi Minh City's CPI is predicted to have fallen 0.11% in December against November's figure, according to the city's statistics office. Ho Chi Minh City's CPI is predicted to have fallen 0.2% during 2015. Restaurant and catering services accounted for the largest share in CPI and saw a 0.17% fall. Transport registered the biggest drop at 1.83%, caused by reduced oil prices and a fall in bus fares. According to preliminary statistics of the General Department of Vietnam Customs, the country's trade deficit reached nearly $520 million in the first half of December, bringing the trade deficit from January to December 15 to nearly $3.5 billion. Exports from January to the end of December 15 were valued at nearly $154.6 billion. Enterprises with a foreign investment registered a trade surplus of $600 million. Phone and components have remained the largest export earner, while machinery, equipment, tools, and other parts are still accounting for the largest proportion of imports. The offshore fishing activities have benefited from recent preferential policies. However, local fishermen are still encountering difficulties due to the poor quality of facilities. Port filled with sediment and a lack of marina is costing fishermen a lot more money to maintain their livelihoods.
It is hard to believe that this area used to be the biggest fishing port in the south-central coastal province of Phú Yên. Part of the port is filled with sediment, forcing fishermen to travel long distances, seeking new spots to sell their fish. Local fishermen are worried about increasing expenses for the tuna season just 1 month away. The poor quality of fishing facilities in areas have limited the capacity of offshore fishing activities. The number of fishing boats in the south-central province of Bình Định has risen to 2,700. Nonetheless, overloaded fishing ports are hindering the activities of these boats. The steel-clad ship was put into use 2 months ago, but the owner had to hide bait somewhere else because the port in Quy Nhơn was overloaded.
There are more and more large fishing boats, but fewer fishing ports. These ports need to be upgraded, but nothing has been done.
Investment in fishing facilities in central provinces such as Phú Yên and Bình Định have not met the needs of local fishermen. Filled-in and overloaded ports have caused fishing boats to travel long distances to reach other fish markets. Many fishermen in Phú Yên and Bình Định have had traveled as far as Khánh Hòa and Ninh Thuận to sell their products.
Investments will focus on 5 key fishing grounds over the next 5 years. Projects to upgrade fishing facilities and logistics will also be launched.
Decree number 67 will facilitate the activities of more large offshore fishing vessels, but the facilities to receive these vessels are inadequate. It is vital to invest in facilities in regions that specialize in fishing, like Bình Định and Phú Yên provinces.
In the later half of VTV News, Đắk Lắk locals enjoy a prosperous festive period. And Vietnam Fashion Fair kicks off, bringing together over 250 Vietnamese businesses operating in garment and textile and related industries. Stay tuned.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News. As the Christmas Eve is very near, state leaders have been extended their visit to Catholic and Protestant dignitaries and followers across Vietnam. Let's take a look.
On the same day, Politburo member and permanent member of the party Central Committee Secretariat Lê Hùng Anh sent his best Christmas wishes to Pastor Nguyễn Hữu Mạc and Archbishop Nguyễn Văn Nhơn when visiting the Evangelical Church of Vietnam and the Archdiocese of Hanoi. He welcomed the positive role played by the Protestants in the country's development. Politburo member and president of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee Nguyễn Thị Nhân has wished Catholics in the Diocese of Kon Tum a good Christmas on December the 23rd. Meeting with Bishop in Kon Tum province, he hoped that the Catholic community could continue to play a constructive role in the country's development. He also congratulated Bishop Nguyễn Hùng Vĩ on his appointment as the Bishop of the Kon Tum Diocese and voiced his belief that the new bishop would help with the development of his parishioners. Bishop Nguyễn Hùng Vĩ expressed his delight at the message.
And for Christians in the Central Highlands province of Đắk Lắk, there is even more reason for them to enjoy the Christmas season as they have benefited from better living standards. We'll visit a village in the region to find out more.
Like many other people in Sat-A village in the Central Highland province of Đắk Lắk, Inyun's family have enjoyed a good coffee harvest. Inyun's family are now drying the beans for storage before Christmas and New Year.
Last year, we produced just 1.5 tons of coffee, but this year we have produced over 2 tons. We're definitely much more cheerful this year as Christmas approaches.
The local community has taken part in building a 3-kilometer inter-village road as part of the new rural development program carried out for the past few years.
Before the new rural development program was carried out, we faced a lot of difficulties as there were very poor transport links. However, we now have a concrete road, so people find it much easier to travel than in the past when they have to brave muddy roads. The locals now understand the benefits of new rural development program. They have contributed both efforts and money in carrying out the program during the 2011 to 2015 period.
As the majority of the population are Protestants, the neighborhood will soon see a new church built.
People are encouraged to actively participate in government programs. This helps to develop the local economy and helps ensure a stable community.
Although many households in Yatul ward are still busy with their coffee harvest, they are spending time decorating their homes for Christmas. With a good coffee harvest expected and much-needed improvements to local infrastructure happening, Christmas and New Year offers plenty of festive cheer.
In other news, the Ministry of Health has made great efforts in streamlining administrative procedures as well as reducing waiting times for patients. This statement was made in a year-end conference reviewing the healthcare sector in 2015 held on December 23rd in Hanoi. Minister of Health and leaders of hospitals across the country attended the event. According to representatives, medical procedures have been simplified and shortened, while health workers have been instructed to offer better treatment. However, the ministry admitted there were still some problems with the provisions of health services and attitudes among staff, as well as overly complicated bureaucracy. Now, 39 out of every 100 deaths results from cardiovascular diseases, according to research from Bạch Mai Hospital's Cardiovascular Institute. This confirms the significant role local hospitals play in diagnosing and treating cardiovascular diseases to save lives. The Cardiovascular Satellite Hospitals project is one of the most prominent efforts being made to improve the quality of medical care and technical skills of physicians.
Surgeons at Ninh Bình General Hospital are performing percutaneous coronary intervention. This technique has been applied for over a year since the hospital began participating in the Cardiovascular Satellite Hospital project.
These new techniques have improved the quality of our medical care. Now we can offer timely and effective treatment for patients.
Hospitals in the Cardiovascular Satellite Hospital project include St. Paul Hospital, Ninh Bình General Hospital, and Quảng Ninh, Hòa Bình, Lào Cai, and Phú Thọ cardiovascular hospitals. Thanks to guidance from Bạch Mai Hospital Cardiovascular Institute, doctors of these hospitals can now perform emergency aid, ultrasounds, and surgeries for cardiovascular patients.
This project has provided us with in-depth vocational training for doctors, as well as advances in technology. Doctors of the Cardiovascular Institute also came here to help us. Lai Châu Hospital has also applied to join the Cardiovascular Satellite Hospitals project. When approved, doctors in these rural areas will be provided with new technology and training.
340 patients at Ninh Bình General Hospital have received percutaneous coronary intervention. Thanks to the Satellite Hospital project, patients are receiving better care and saving money at a hospital with new and advanced medical knowledge and treatments.
In related news, Vietnam is among 39 countries that have met World Health Organization vaccine standards. However, the scarcity of 5-in-1 vaccines in Vietnam is underlining the need for the research and production of such vaccines in Vietnam. This was one of the main topics discussed at a seminar in Hanoi on December 22nd.
According to the country's vaccine production units, the financial sources for the research and production of vaccines in Vietnam remain limited. The representative from the State Capital Investment Corporation proposed 3 options to the government to improve the situation. He also stressed the importance of restructuring research and vaccine production facilities.
If we can achieve the target of the National Product Development Programme, we can produce a vaccine by 2017 and commercialise them by 2020. The production of vaccines should have contributions to socio-economic development.
In order to ensure the supply of vaccines, the Ministry of Health has been working on research and production of 6-in-1 vaccines. The vaccine protects people from diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus, polio, influenza type B, and hepatitis B.
First, the researchers face many challenges in technology, including producing separate elements of vaccines and mixed elements of vaccines.
According to the National Product Development Programme for Human Vaccine, by 2020, Vietnam will produce and commercialize at least 7 vaccines.
Vaccine production requires a level of infrastructure. It demands investment in infrastructure and facilities in order to produce separate elements of vaccines and mixed elements of vaccines.
The Ministry of Health has set a target to accelerate research progress and production of new vaccines. It is expected that by 2020, Vietnam would be capable of producing and retailing the 6-in-1 vaccines.
Now, a Belgian delegation led by First Secretary of the Belgium Embassy in Hanoi on Tuesday met with the Quảng Ninh People's Committee on an environmental restoration project for Hạ Long Bay. Specifically, Belgium will help Vietnam in collecting and processing garbage on the shore, as well as in and underwater, alongside handling wastewater from coal mining dumped into the bay. Total capital of the project is estimated at $129 million and is expected to take place over 10 years. Quảng Ninh provincial authorities have shown their appreciation for the project, expressing their hope that it will significantly improve the local environment and will bring more international, especially Belgian tourists, to the bay. Now, the Vietnam Fashion Fair 2015 is currently taking place at the Giang Vo Exhibition Center in Hanoi and will run until December 27th. The event brings together over 250 Vietnamese businesses operating in garment and textile products, footwear and jewelry, and beauty care services. With more than 400 stalls, the fair offers visitors a chance to explore creative and high-end design from leading domestic brands including Nhà Bè, Đức Giang, May 10, Việt Tiến, Hanosimex, and Nem. This annual fair provides a platform for Vietnamese garment and textile firms to seek opportunities to partner with international companies while advertising their products to both local and international consumers. In 2015, the export value of textile and garment industry reached $27.5 billion, up 11% over last year, underlying its leading position as a key export sector. And just before we say goodbye, let's take a look at our updated weather forecast. And that's the end of this live edition of VTV News. For more news and updates, please log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4girl. And we'll be back at 3 p.m. local time with more other updates. For now, goodbye.